Okay, I want to quickly talk about overcoming overwhelm. This is such an important topic if you want to make real progress in almost anything that you do, especially, the bigger the thing you want to achieve, usually, at least in my case, the more overwhelm, the more parts and moving pieces that are required to make it work or to realize whatever the vision is. And again, in conjunction coming with that, is more overwhelmed. So let's kind of talk about how to overcome overwhelm. And it's less about, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a master of overcoming all overwhelm for anyone ever, but I will just give insight into how I've, overcome overwhelm myself and some of the things I do that's been super, super helpful for me. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First thing you always, always, always want to do is take the big goal, the vision, and break it, like get all of the action items that are required to create it and break it down into manageable chunks, right? You want to let go of all thoughts of the finished product. If your goal is to get in shape, let go of all thoughts of the finished look of being in shape. Yes, you can, maybe have it to envision sometimes to motivate you to keep going in times of struggle, like know where you're going, yes. But when it comes to the actual day to day, when it comes to sitting down and, hey, I'm going to jump in and actually start moving towards my goal, I'm actually going to do the work, you need to empty your brain of the finished product, or at least I've found it helps me to empty my brain of the finished product and break it down into manageable chunks, only focusing on the process instead, right? So if I kind of put it in a better order, it's like, see what the goal is, figure out what the process is, reverse engineer it from where you want to be to where you are. Look at all of those steps, push out the thoughts of the finished product. Now you're just left with the list of the process, the list of all the steps it's going to take to get there. And then you want to make sure that it's broken down into very, very simple, easy, manageable chunks. And then you want to start to, make sure it's obviously prioritized, because it should be prioritized. It's in order. And then you want to pick one thing and focus on nothing but that per day, right? Another thing that has led to me being overwhelmed a lot and how I overcame it was trying to say, okay, here's my list. I'm going to take the first 3 or the first 4, or I'm going to take 2. I'm going to take more than one and try to get it all done in a day. Try to do it simultaneously. And doing things, at least I found doing things simultaneously just doesn't work as well. And that split focus leads to the anxiety of like, oh shit, how much time should I put here? Should I put there? And then you start to get overwhelmed as you think about that process. And if you're managing that well, at least for me, again, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. So one thing I've done was make sure that I only had one focus per day. For example, today, I'm filming content. So you're going to start to see this a lot more with my content, that all of the videos, the next 3 or the next 5 or the next 6 or however many I filmed today, you're going to see that I'm wearing the same shirt because it's all being filmed today, right? You might see the video 3 days from now, 6 days from now, a month from now, but it's all filmed today because today is filming day. I'm not going to even edit these videos today because it's not edit day, it's film day, right? So one singular focus per day. I know whenever my mind wanders off and gets off track, I just have to bring it back to the one thing instead of bringing it back to the 5 things and then try to prioritize those things and then pick the thing that I'm going to do now and then get back into it. You see how many thoughts and how many hoops you have to jump through just to get back and like kill your procrastination, right? Because, your mind wanders, pick up your phone, start watching something. Maybe you go for a lunch break, you go for a walk, get some fresh air, you come back. And then your mind has to jump through, okay, what am I focusing on today? Now there's all these things I'm focusing on. Which one should I focus on now? How should I prioritize it? Okay, now let's get started on the thing, rather than, what day is it today? Film day? Okay, let's go film. What day is it today? Edit day? Okay, let's go edit. What day is it today? Project day on, fixing rep select or updating the software. Okay, let's jump into the product development, right? So one singular focus per day as best as you can. It's not always possible. And don't get me wrong, my days aren't always perfectly one thing, but every time my mind wanders, I know to bring it back to that one focus, and I don't have to think of anything else. And as long as I put the things on the calendar, and as long as I just listen to my calendar and do the one thing that I'm working on today, I know that it's going to be a successful week. It's going to be a successful day, and I'm going to win in the long run by continuously doing that without thinking far ahead, without thinking about anything else. And that brings me to the last point: is the main thing you need to battle for, you need to fight for, is keeping your presence. Don't allow your mind to wander. And when it does wander, that's okay. It happens, but always bring it back. And that's why having one singular focus is what has been key for me, because it's really easy to bring it back to the one thing rather than the many. All right. So you want to actively work on pushing out all thoughts that aren't about the one thing, that aren't about the singular focus. Anytime you start to think, about all the other tasks, push it out and get back to the one. Doing these things, breaking it down, focusing on one thing, let going all thoughts, let going of the finished product, only focusing on the process, only focusing on, the what I have to do to get there rather than getting there. Those things have just eliminated, for the most part, I'm still human, not perfect, but it's eliminated a ton of feeling of overwhelm. And it's allowed me to be way more productive, get way more done, work a lot faster, work a lot longer, because I noticed I was getting super tired at the end of the day. And a ton of my energy was just going to thinking, was just going to thinking about what I have to do instead of just doing it. And when you realize when you're not thinking so much, you're not using so much brain power on the anxiety and the thinking and the overwhelm aspect of it, and you're just using the brain power to solely do the one thing that you have to do today, you realize that you can work way longer and do way more and get way more done and make a lot more progress. So hopefully that helps. See you guys.